Hey, welcome back, everybody. Real quick, just a reminder that we now have a newsletter. Every week, you'll get transition tips, insights on the guest interviews, and other resources and information to help you navigate your transition, all delivered right to your inbox. So don't miss out. Sign up today. There's a link in the show notes, or you can go directly to the website at transitiondrillpodcast.com. Why'd I make up such a long name? It's free. It's easy. It's designed with you in mind. So go sign up. I know you'll appreciate the info. Okay, now on to the show. Here's something to consider. I want to throw out an idea and just consider it. Even if entrepreneurship and being your own boss isn't on your radar right now, it's worth giving it some thought. Our careers have been about service, answering the call, following orders, and delivering results. But in the process, we've developed something that's invaluable: the ability to stay reliable and adaptable, even in the most chaotic situations. And those aren't just skills, they're the foundation for building something of your own. Think of it this way. Every community, every industry has gaps, voids where a service or a solution is desperately needed. And who better to step into that role than someone who knows how to identify potential problems, create plans, and execute with precision. By positioning yourself as the go-to resource for addressing these needs, you're not just transitioning into a new career, you're creating it. You're taking everything you've learned, every challenge you've overcome, and using it to fill that void. Entrepreneurship just isn't about starting a business. It's about continuing your legacy of service, but in a way that's uniquely yours. So with that, let's get into round 54 of the tactical transition tips. This time the topic is solve the problem. For the close range group, those of you looking at your transition right away or you're less than a year out, research local needs. For the medium range group, those of you planning your transition in 5 years or so, chase your passion. And for the long range group, those of you just starting your careers, there's over a decade before your transition, stop focusing on today.
You transition out is try to model all of the good things, the discipline, the structure, that little bit of rigidity into your everyday life. And I think that that's a great way to make that transition happen, man.
Take the time to invest in yourself because it means everything. You know, that's what the difference is. The difference is not just to collect a check. It's to live 25 years, 30, 40 years after you retire and pay it forward that way.
Close range group, research local needs. Those of you transitioning within the next year or so, I know you're probably feeling the pressure. You're most likely thinking, what's my next? I want you to try thinking beyond just finding a job for a minute. Think about positioning yourself to make an impact, which can help create opportunities for yourself in the process. Look at it this way. Solving problems opens doors. Identifying what your community needs is a smart way to match your skills with opportunities. But you're wondering, how do I start? Well, you got to play detective. We've been trained to assess situations, identify patterns, and spot problems. But instead of focusing on a crime scene or a tactical operation, shift your focus to the world around you. Get out there, be involved. Attend anything, everything that you can. Community meetings, city council meetings, local business events, anywhere that you can get in to learn about what's going on around you. Remember though, you're there to just listen. You're gathering your intel. You're doing your surveillance. What are people complaining about? What are frustrating things? What is causing them problems? Consistent issues should be what you're focusing on. Keep notes of what's going on, what those problems are, and who's complaining about it. Also, don't overlook the social media sites. Guys, this is specifically for you. Talk with your wives. I'm sure they'll know the local sites for your community. And for what my wife tells me, these can be gold mines for identifying problems or common local complaints. Obviously, not every complaint is a potential job for you. But then again, you don't need to solve every problem, just a problem or a specific core of problems. Focus on pain points, those little frustrations that might seem insignificant, but they can snowball into major opportunities for you. Here's some generic examples. Say you're hearing business owners complaining about a logistical problem. Consider a consulting business. A lot of times, many of these busy business owners, they just don't have time. So be that person who fixes that one-off problem. Position yourself as somebody who gets things handled. Another job you could think of is look at the population of senior citizens. It's growing and it's going to continue to grow. But the reality is more people are going to keep living longer and longer. So you have to ask yourself, what services do seniors need? Can you make those services into a business? Whatever you decide, though, start small. You don't have to go all in right away. You can go just test the waters. You likely won't have the perfect solution right out of the gate. But if you offer a service, just something basic, see if there's a demand. The easiest way to do it is figure out what you're good at. What skills do you have? Say you've been running your agency's incident command post during emergency operations. You could easily offer workshops on emergency preparedness. I guarantee you, especially with every big incident that occurs, regardless if it's in your backyard or not, for example, take the wildfires that are burning currently in LA. People in your community will want information on how to be better prepared for whatever that disaster or occurrence is. Don't underestimate yourself. It's easy to think, oh, everybody knows how to do X, Y, or Z. But that's not true. We think that way because of how we were taught and what was expected of us in our jobs. If you're still not sure where to start, try volunteering. It's low risk and it's high reward. From your perspective, volunteering allows you to learn and hone your knowledge. From a business perspective, you get to meet people. People get to meet you. And then you get to validate if this gap that you've identified is truly viable. The added bonus is maybe your own business doesn't pan out, but maybe you meet somebody who throws an opportunity your way. So either way, it's a win-win. While you close in on your transition, I recommend doing this as a side hustle. Keep going with the regular job hunt, then see what hits. More importantly, what do you enjoy? Is the side hustle worth your time and investment? Then, if your own business is something that you decide to do, and it seems like what you would really want to do, don't forget that there's resources out there that are specifically designed to help veterans and first responders. Groups like the Small Business Administration, Bunker Labs, or also reach out to just your local businesses. You'd be surprised at the guidance and mentorship and even funding that's available to you to help start something of your own. So take advantage of it. So close range group. There's problems you can solve. Don't be afraid to start small. Just test the waters. But most importantly, if you do choose to start a business, use the resources that are at your disposal. What powers you through your day? If you're like me, coffee's at the top of that list. So take your coffee to a new level with Trident Coffee, a veteran-owned brand that's redefining your coffee experience. Cold brew experts, their instant cold brew is a game changer. And though they roast their beans to excel as a cold brew, trust me, their coffee tastes just as amazing hot. Trident Coffee is also committed to your wellness, with ingredients like organic mushrooms, adaptogens, and nootropics to help boost your focus and support your immunity. It's made for those who enjoy good coffee and value quality and health. Whether you're looking for that perfect, refreshing cold brew or a smooth cup of hot coffee to fuel your day, Trident Coffee has you covered. Head over to tridentcoffee.com and use the promo code TDP15 for 15% off your order. Medium Range Group. Choose your passion. You're still a few years out. The advantage you have, especially if you're already thinking about doing your own thing, lay the groundwork now. This is your window to really explore what excites you, and then align your skills and your passions with opportunities for your future. Lean into those causes that are important, issues that you feel strong about, or industries outside of what you're already doing now, and that drive your inner you. Then find ways to blend your passion with your abilities into a business. So first, what fires you up? What's that thing that you always want to talk about every day? Or if you have any free time, you're trying to learn more about it. If you're not sure what that is, start making a list. What genuinely excites you? Don't filter yourself. Just brainstorm. Then once you've got some ideas, you can dig deeper into them. But ask yourself, maybe I want to give back. But to who? Maybe your work community. Maybe your local community. Do I want to solve a problem? Or maybe do I want to build something? And I'm not necessarily saying a structure. But hey, if construction's, what interests you, chase it. But maybe it's a business that you can pass on to your children. Or better yet, maybe a business that you can start with your children and grow it together that they can then take over. Regardless of what it is, you need clarity, where to focus your energy and get going forward. Here's the thing though, don't just think about it, do it. This is your time to explore, but do it in a hands-on kind of way. If you're intrigued by an industry, do all that you can to learn about it. Take a course, meet somebody who works in that field. Immerse yourself and learn all there is to know about it. Start studying the fundamentals of making your passion a business. The best part is, though, you can pivot. You're not locked in. On the flip side, though, yes, your passions are important, but so are your skills and equally your values. Just because you have the passion doesn't mean you have the basic skills. Do you have the skills to run a business? Do you have the values and emotional intelligence to make a business thrive? You have to be able to blend your passion with your skills and your values to get a clear direction for your future. However, though, it means nothing to have a passion if you can't make a job out of it, assuming that that's what you want to do. But in that same vein, you can have the passion, but not the skills to actually do that passion. You need to be honest with yourself. Are you good enough where others are going to want to come to you and pay you money? If not, then go make yourself better in the skills of your passion. Something else to consider is stay informed, stay ahead of the trends, and don't be playing catch up. Be at the front of the train. The more you understand where industries are headed, the better you can position yourself to excel, or even better, to get off the train because you see that the trend is changing. Become a student of your passion, following everybody that you can that's connected with that space. Read more, and read more again. Blogs, articles, books, all of it. If it has to do with your passion, read it. Listen to podcasts. The cool thing about podcasts are, especially when it comes to listening to experts in the field that you're interested in, they give you the chance to hear new things today. Oftentimes when they're interviewed on podcasts, they're often talking about new ideas. So you're really kind of staying at the forefront of it. Then leverage all the tools at your disposal. Google Trends, Google Alerts, industry reports. Anything that's going to keep you ahead of the game, get it. And get it as quickly as possible. Last, use these next few years to maximize your advantage. Don't overlook the ability to grow your skills. Try to leverage where you want to get to with your job now. See if your organization will send you to those cool training classes. Make connections with as many people as possible, but while you're doing it, be genuine about it. And best, try implementing your passions if you can while you're at work. Test out these business ideas. For me, what immediately comes to mind is AI. There's so much going on with AI that's exciting. And the thought is how much it's going to grow. And the more things it can do, can you utilize it? And then with that, maximize your knowledge of how to use it, how to implement it. Now, you could easily market this knowledge to your bosses now, but you can also take it and make a business when you transition out. On the flip side, though, you can also go analog. Let's say your passion is mountaineering. Is there a way you can make the argument for your current organization that there is a need to teach members how to rappel? What classes could you get your organization to send you to related to being a teacher of rappelling that would then further your skills in mountaineering? Look for ways that you can contribute at work in areas that excite you. You've got a little bit of time. Use the time to connect your skills, your values, and your passions into something for your future. You ever feel like your body just isn't keeping up like it used to? We all know that life doesn't slow down, and sometimes the grind catches up. Lower energy, lagging focus, or a dip in motivation. Human Performance TRT understands the need to regain your edge. As a veteran and first responder-owned company, they're not just another telehealth provider. They take a full spectrum approach to your health, crafting personalized plans that go beyond hormones. There's no locked-in subscriptions, no hassles. Everything is delivered directly to your door, so you can stay focused on what really matters. Also, if you're already on a hormone replacement program, you can switch over seamlessly with recent blood work. There's no extra tests required if your labs are under 6 months old. So are you ready to optimize your health? Visit hptrt.com and see what personalized care looks like. And don't forget to use the promo code TDP for 10% off your program. Long range group. You got to stop focusing on today. Those of you early in your careers, it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind. There's a lot you're still learning related to your job. Your transition seems so far away. Hell, it's probably not even a blip on your radar. However, this is the perfect time to look beyond right now. Don't get so wrapped up in today's tasks that you forget to think about tomorrow. Be purposeful in your actions today. Shape your career and your life as you move towards your transition. So let's talk about what guides you. Your compass must be your values. Know yourself and know what matters to you. I recommend writing them down. Think of it as your mission statement. Then base your career decisions on these values. Also, though, evaluate your actions against your values? Are you staying in line with them? Then, once you have that, create a values map. Connect your principles with your values with real world needs. Then from there, you can build your career for what's best for you today, but you can also build it for what's best for your future opportunities. But you have to stay ahead of the game. The world is constantly changing. And one of the smartest things you can do right now is always think ahead. One of the worst things that we do in these careers is we get stuck in the past. It's how we've always done things mentality. And what's worse than that is we tend to carry this over to ourselves personally as well. Force yourself to always be looking down the road. Learn to identify changes that are coming. Then, how can you adopt them to make you and your organization better? You should aim to strike a balance. Let your interests and your passions force you to gain knowledge, but also seek information that improves your organization as well. You never know by following a passion or gaining information on a passion that something else might come from that and open up to you. Don't be stagnant. Always ask yourself, what challenges will my organization, as well as the civilian world, face in the next 10, 15, 20 years? There's a lot of different angles to come from, but you could come at it from this perspective of, if you're a first responder, if you could go back, what recommendations would you give your organization prior to the start of the George Floyd riots? Could you have seen it coming? If you want to think of it this way, also, if you're in the EMS field, going forward, where's telemedicine or wearable health technology going in the future? For all of you, how will the workforce change in the next 10 years? Think about it. About 10 years from now, right about that time, you'll all probably be in maybe a ranking leadership spot. How will you work with the workforce that's starting today? How will you encourage them? How will you motivate them? Remember, you don't have to solve the challenges today, but you need to be positioning yourself as someone who's ready to tackle them when they come. One of the great things about being early in your career is you have time to dream big, experiment, then refine your vision, but always stay aligned with your values map. Take risks. Explore those ambitious ideas, those ones that people say, oh, you're crazy for thinking that. Who cares if it fails? Reevaluate it, then re-implement it and move on from it. Moving forward, though, always position yourself as somebody who wants to be around people who are innovative and focused on the future. See if you can become part of a think tank or do a hackathon. I know, you're thinking a hackathon. Basically, it's a conference type event. They're going to pair you up in groups and they're going to give you problems to work on and try to solve. I know, it might sound nerdy, but on the flip side, it might not hurt to try it. Also, align yourself with the forward thinkers within your organization. Like I said before, our organizations are full of people who get stuck in the past. You can hear them. Almost every story or everything they say starts back when I started. That's not who you want to collaborate with. You want to collaborate with peers and coworkers who see what's coming and are already looking to adapt and adopt new changes, new technology. Start identifying groups outside your organization who are working on challenges that interest you. If you have to, pay your way. Attend conferences, join professional associations, because you never know. One of those connections might be your transition guru. Also, when you're collaborating, don't always think, what can I gain from this? Think about, how can I contribute? Another thing you could think about is maybe you focus on the you away from the job. Because I hope you realize that this is the most important person in your life. Start something now that truly feeds you. It can be something that benefits the veteran or first responder community, but it's in a giving way or some other fashion that has purpose and meaning to you. The point is, you want to have that freedom and feel free within yourself to explore. Not every one of your ideas is going to pan out. Not always is what you come up with going to be perfect. Who knows? Maybe it will. But regardless, it's about progress and moving forward. So how would you do it? How would you be this forward thinker? The easiest way is scenario planning. Always be testing yourself. You should already be doing it in your jobs now. I mean, think about it. You're driving around. What will I do if I end up in a gunfight? What will I do if I enter a door and there's somebody on the other side who wants to harm me? What do I do if there's somebody on the other side who needs me to help them get out of there? All these scenarios that we deal with on the daily, you should be going through those as a part of your daily practice. But what you should also be doing is, what are the different possibilities for your future career? And how might you respond to whatever is the new big thing? What key trends or uncertainties could impact your career, could impact your organization? For each of those scenarios, outline a plan. What skills might you need? What connections should you have or make? It's not about predicting the future. It's about preparing for it. But what if, say, a scenario happens, and that scenario is something that you've worked through in your head or worked through plotting it out. And to your bosses, maybe you have that unexpected solution. Or on the flip side, if you are a boss, maybe you could implement something that you've already worked through in your head. Just an idea, but think about the future. Then taking it further, what scenarios could become business opportunities, problems for you to fix? Use your current role as a springboard for experimentation. Again, stay aligned with your values. Make the most out of your career now, but set yourself up for a smooth and fulfilling transition tomorrow. Okay, let's close this out. Close range group. Research local needs. The path to your next chapter might be uncovering a problem in your community and applying your skills to solve it. Medium range group. Chase your passion. Use this time to explore what truly excites you and connect your skills with your passion for a paycheck. Long range group. Stop focusing on today. The future belongs to those who prepare for it. Anticipate challenges and lay the foundation for a legacy you'll be proud of. As always, thank you for listening or watching the episode however you're getting it. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to reach out. You can find me on social media or you can send me an email. The links are in the show notes. I'd love to hear from you. If you're not already, please follow the podcast on whatever platform you get your podcasts or subscribe on YouTube. And please leave a rating. Ratings impact the algorithm, which helps it get pushed out to more eyes and ears. And last, please share it with anybody you think who could enjoy it and benefit from it. And until next time, remember, finding a solution has defined your career. And whether it's far off on the horizon or you feel it fast approaching, transition is coming. So go solve the problem.